And you may be asking, Dr. Barry, why was a physician sitting there at a digital marketing conference and then doesn't even, mind you, I didn't give myself 2 days and I was already at a separate conference specifically on YouTube, meaning nothing on medicine. Like, what were you trying to get to? And I think that's the point, right? Because obviously medicine is my life. Medicine is not going nowhere. But there's a way that I want to help convey the message when I'm talking about breast cancer, colon cancer, smoking. There's a way I want to help convey the message to kind of get to the audience, because when you talk about everything, you talk about nothing. What's up, everybody? Yours truly, Dr. Barry here. Today, we're going to be talking about the importance of pivoting, especially as we head to the new year. We're going to be talking about some changes to come. Now, again, I'm not leaving. I'm not quitting Medicine Mondays or Real Physician Reacts or Lunch and Learn Dr. Barry. That is not happening. But it is going to happen as far as how it's presented. I'll say that because, and I'll be honest, as I record this now, I am sitting at a conference specifically focused on YouTube and YouTube creation and just how to, build a YouTube channel. And this is shortly after leaving a conference on digital marketing. And you may be asking, Dr. Barry, why was a physician sitting there at a digital marketing conference and then doesn't even, mind you, I didn't give myself 2 days and I was already at a separate conference specifically on YouTube, meaning nothing on medicine. Like, what were you trying to get to? And I think that's the point, right? Because obviously medicine is my life. Medicine is not going nowhere. But there's a way that I want to help convey the message when I'm talking about breast cancer, colon cancer, smoking. There's a way I want to help convey the message to kind of get to the audience, because when you talk about everything, you talk about nothing. And more importantly, the way they focus it, when you're trying to please everyone, aka when you're just trying to have a general broad-based audience, is sometimes very difficult to focus on one. So 1 week, and again, I've had my Lunch and Learn listeners tell me that 1 week they love the episode, right? Because it's an episode that fits them. And another week they're like, that has nothing to do with me, so I'm not going to listen. So as a content creator, that's not really a recipe for success. So I go to these, and I've been going to the One Digital Conference for years now, ClickFunnels. I love it. I've talked about it ad nauseum. I'm an affiliate. Funnel builder, but that's a whole different discussion that we'll probably do on a YouTube only video, right? Stay tuned for that. But what I wanted to do is, how can I blend my love for marketing, content creation, especially as a health educator, but make sure that the audience who needs to get it gets it, and more importantly, make sure that it's well received, right? So that has kind of been the driving force, especially this year. So when I talk about pivot, and you hear me talk about it a lot, especially as the holidays are coming along, you hear a lot of people say, "Hey, I want to change what I'm doing, right? I want to change my exercise habits. I want to change my dietary habits, right? I want to change, how I deal with stress." A lot of changes typically occur at the last quarter of the year. So I wanted to kind of drive home that fact too, right? I wanted to say, okay, what are some things that I need to do here, in peer medical consulting world, which is, which brings you the podcasts and the videos and everything else, live stream, especially from the health content creation side. What do I want to do that's going to help continue to, one, drive an important message, which is empower yourself for better health, but more importantly, get it to not only the audience who needs to hear it, but the audience who's going to grasp it and, rent it and, play every video, download every podcast. That's really the question I've been having at hand, especially for, this year. If you've seen a lot of the changes that has gone on, especially with this channel here, we've had a whole episode where I say Dr. Barry, YouTuber, because it really kind of opened my eyes and said, hey, one, I need to open up, right, with the fact that, hey, I am a health content creator, and that's not something I need to run away from. Two, I need to not only acknowledge that I need to be a health content creator, but the same amount of energy that I put in to become a great physician, I need to do in becoming a great health content creator. So whether you follow me on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, I suggest you follow me on there if you don't already. Whether you follow me on all those things there, I want to make sure that I'm giving you the best product every which step of the way. So some things that you should expect to see changes, right? So of course, I know you guys love when we bring guests onto the show. We're definitely gonna like ramp that up again, right? And mind you, it wasn't. I take it back. Maybe it was a little purposeful this year as far as not having as many guests, but it's really because we were doing so many changes on the back end that when we had a guest on, I wanted to make sure that that guest was the guest. Like, oh yeah, this is definitely an episode you need to hear about. So we're definitely going to bring on some more expert guests, more expert opinion on kind of wide ranging topics, but making sure that we focus on the what we call the avatar or the audience at hand, right? And who is that, right? Especially for someone like me, right? Who is, the ideal person that I know listens, that I know loves it, loves the podcast, loves everything that we do from this standpoint here. Who is that person? Obviously, this is a person I feel is going to be health conscious. Right. This is a person who's going to say, hey, you know what? I'm not invincible. I need to know about, vitamins and vaccines and update. Like I need to know about my blood pressure. I need to know about my cholesterol, or I need to be able to know and convey to the people who I'm taking care of. Right. So I got like two different audiences. One, that health conscious person who's ready to take control of their hair. Remember, empower yourself for better health. And more importantly, two, that professional who's in charge and responsible of. Because you can't, especially again, and I urge this especially to all my content creators. Once you recognize who you want to talk to, it makes the messaging much easier. And we're going to be going away from the I almost call it like the presentation style of discussion, right? Like when we talk about, diabetes or breast cancer, we give you all the facts and things that you could just read. But more importantly, we're going to start driving it back to kind of personable and relatable situations so you guys can kind of grasp. So not only are we talking about diabetes, but like, all right, this is how, Dr. Pierre is taking care of patients with diabetes. And these are some of the effects that Dr. Pierre has seen, right? So it's gonna be one of these flips where you may not notice it completely in the beginning, right? But you'll notice that there's going to be less almost like school board educating, but more like trying to get us into the mind and teaching like, hey, this is the discussion, which sounds like, are you saying the same thing, Dr. Pierre? No, it's going to be different. And I'm excited for it because it leaves us the ability not only to have questions, but more importantly, be able to understand the story. So you're going to see a lot more storytelling. And even when we bring on guests, you're going to see a lot more of the guests kind of encompass the story, encompass, our two audiences of, either the healthcare professionals or the ones who need the being taken care of from a treatment standpoint. So again, just excited about just some of the tweaks and changes. Even here again, if you're watching this on YouTube, you're going to see some changes. You're going to see some updates. Like I said, I wouldn't be at a YouTube conference if I didn't expect to make some changes to the YouTube, right? Because I'm excited about that. Like, again, when we turn that corner and say, hey, we're going to focus on video and make the audio kind of secondary, is because we wanted to say, hey, I wanted to give people a better video experience so that you can take the time and say, I'll watch this week's episode and be able to sit and watch this week's episode and not feel like someone was coming on here and lecturing you, right? Because that's what it felt like. Because I go back and look at all and listen to all of my episodes just so I can pick up mannerisms or, okay, he says this a lot, or maybe he shouldn't say that, or maybe he shouldn't slouch a certain way, because I want to give you guys the best product. So this is why you come to a conference like this. It's for those maybe asking at the Vid Summit. That's the YouTube conference, and apparently I think Mr. Beast is supposed to be here. I don't know. There's a whole bunch of people here, so I don't plan on meeting him, but I know he's supposed to be in the building somehow, in the conference some way. So, like, I'm gonna make sure that we have the best product for you guys to make sure that the visual experience is amazing, the audio experience is amazing. Some people keep asking me about blogs, like, if I get enough like requests to say, hey, can you start writing a blog? I'll go back to doing that and helping that. But like, I know from the numbers sake, you guys like listening to the podcast, you guys like watching the video, or you like more watching the short content, right? And that kind of leads us to our other platforms like YouTube Shorts and TikTok and Facebook, even Instagram. You're definitely going to see an uptick in content, a focus on that as well too, because that's what you like, and that's what I plan on giving you, right? So again, this wasn't going to be a long episode. Like I said, this was just more of an announcement episode to say, hey, you know what? I know the last quarter is coming. I know that changes need to be made to give you guys the best experience, and I'm excited to do so. And I'm hoping, like you guys, some of you guys have been rocking with me since I've been in medical school, which is so wild to even think about. I appreciate you. I love you for it. So this is just going to be another change that we're going to make that's going to improve, right? Remember when we first started, it was just Dr. Pierre's blog. That was an ugly little blog, and we upgraded to the full website. And then it was just Lunch and Learn with Dr. Barry's on our Facebook channel. And then we say, you know what about the podcast? Then it was the Lunch and Learn with Dr. Barry podcast. And then we kind of graduated to the Medicine Mondays on our YouTube channel. The Real Physician Reacts on our YouTube channel. And we're actually we actually have like a series of episodes that occur at least every other Wednesday that are just not necessarily medicine related, but it may be talking to residents and physicians and even some technical talk, right? Because like I said, why would I be at a digital marketing conference one week and a YouTube conference another week if I didn't kind of like those things, right? So you can get to kind of see another side of Dr. Pierre, right? So I'm excited, right, for the rest of the quarter. More importantly, I'm excited for what 2024 is going to bring, because you make the changes now, but you don't really see it come to fruition, to the later year, right? So I'm excited for that. Please make sure you like, subscribe. And if you're on the podcast, make sure you already subscribe to the podcast, download, leave us a 5-star review. You guys have been amazing. I cannot wait for you guys to see the change and improvements here for Medicine Mondays as well as Lunch Learn with Dr. Barry. See you guys next week.